This is part 2 in a series of videos exploring tools and ways of thinking and contrasting different worldviews, which I think is, I want to say, very important right now, where it seems we're in an age where it's more than ever people disagree and are basing their lives on fundamentally different axioms. And if you're someone who's very interested in truth, or not even truth per se, but in becoming the highest form of a being that is possible from where you are, when you want to, or maybe we could just say someone who wants to try at life, who's interested in life, who wants to engage with it, well, you've got all these options in front of you. You've got all these platters. You've got all these people who see life differently, often fundamentally differently. So how can you analyze these? How can you think about them? How can you choose? And in part 1, I introduced a concept about an asymmetric relationship between two worldviews, which I called the higher but not higher. Today, I want to extend that, or in this video, I want to extend that and talk about what we can call subsuming. Subsuming, I'll put it here, subsuming, and you know what, I'll even spell it right. And subsuming, I mean exactly that. Subsuming, like taking something up into the larger. And this was missing somewhat, again, in the last video I made, which is that I was talking about if A and B are two worldviews, and they're disagreeing, there's a way in which I'm treating them totally distinct, but they're not fully. Because the only way two different worldviews or outlooks can have an argument is they need to have a model of each other. Okay, so if A is having a discussion with B and trying to appeal to B, A must have a conception of what B is. And B must have a conception of what A is. And this actually goes more layers. Because if A is listening to B and he's going, look, B is totally wrong. B has this idea of me and how I look at life and the world and who I am, and it's just totally wrong. So not only does A have a view of B, A has a view of B's view of A. So really, like this is you could almost think of this as like a fractal, like a infinite repeating pattern. And like it's just like the more it goes as deep as intelligence allows it. I mean, the human brain can't go too many layers. Maybe maxes out at 7. And I think a lot of humor actually is based on the interplay between these contrasts. Like social humor comes from like a collapsing. I mean, this is a little side thought that as we're talking and engaging with those, we're constantly rearranging our views. So it's like B is updating his view of A, and he's updating his view of what A's view of himself is. And this is constantly going. So like, I suppose we're talking about worldviews, but even within a worldview, and anytime it's expressed, it is expressed through being. So we could also consider this as two beings with distinct ways of looking at the world, because it includes their ideas of other beings or other ways of looking at the world. Atheists have a model of what Christianity is. Christianity have a model of what atheists think. And so if we want to analyze different views, we want to contrast them, we want to pick them, we want to be able to say, prefer them even, this fractal, this subsuming of other views, this fractal pattern can be used. And how this works is we could say, if B has completely subsumed A, if it's complete, so if like B's perspective of A, I don't know why I keep redrawing this, but if his perspective of A is not missing anything, or we could say we can put a percent, like let's say it's like 99%, okay? This B, he's really studied A's position, okay? He's got like 99%, he understands it, okay? And maybe A's view of B is much more incomplete. So say A's been thinking about B's views, but he did like a really shoddy job, and he only understands 50%. So this is where a new relationship also emerges between two views. Where it doesn't necessarily mean that just because you understand someone else that you have like a one-up on them necessarily, or that if you don't understand someone's view, that they know more than you. Because you could right now invent something I've never heard of. You could be like, I believe in Greg in the sky, and I've never heard of Greg. And you have an idea of my beliefs because you've been watching my videos. So you could say, okay, that's asymmetric. You'd be like, I've subsumed your view, you might think. And I haven't subsumed yours because you believe in Greg and I don't know anything about Greg. So you might think, if we're looking at this pattern, you've got more of me than I've got of you. That's not quite how it works. Rather, what we should say is, if you have subsumed someone's view to the extent you have, if you are able to encapsulate someone's view and they are a territory in your map, but yet you don't act on those views, if they are not action-inducing views, if a subsumed philosophy is not action-inducing, then we can say that there is a sense in which your philosophy, your worldview, is higher or superior or preferred. Because if we imagine two people, we imagine a B, okay, who knows everything about A, and we imagine A, all right? In what way can A be superior or higher? Like if you're just a being who wants to grow and you see these two types of attitudes towards life, you see this attitude that's A and you see this attitude B, which fully understands A. It's got a larger map. It's got a larger territory, but yet it doesn't act like A would. Say there's like a major decision and this guy's like, I would go this way. And this guy's like, I would go this way. Okay, well, who are you going to believe? Who are you going to believe? You would most likely believe B. Why? Because B has subsumed A's view. And then, therefore, we could say in learning or growing or transcending oneself, understanding other views can be very helpful in a sense because it can release you from the possibility of missing out in that way or being wrong in that way. It almost like it solidifies. So it solidifies your strategy. So if you are, say you are like a sports team and your strategy is really defensive, but you have no idea about these more aggressive teams. You don't understand what they're doing. Well, if you go study that aggressive play style and you get to the very bottom of it, you understand all the ins and outs. Okay, maybe you try it out and then you go, you know what, I'm still going to do my defensive play style. Now you can be even more confident. And this is a way, even in a postmodern world where we were really hesitant to say something is absolutely right or absolutely wrong or appeal to some ultimate authority, you can still appeal to the authority of a larger map. Now, both of these might be wrong. There might be a C. There might be a C that's completely different. And it subsumes B and it subsumes A and it subsumes A's view of B. Okay, but who is closer? Who is closer to becoming this ultimate C? Who has a more expansive being? It's through this process. Now, again, I don't want to mean that you should go out and learn every single worldview and all philosophies. That's not quite what I mean. And there's almost a sense in which the way in which I mean subsuming, it doesn't even mean directly knowledge of facts. You don't need to learn like Hindu and Muslim and Christianity and like study every religion or every philosophy, Stoicism, nihilism, whatever, utilitarianism, and only then can you feel like you've surpassed them. No, there's a way in which the form or the axioms or the crystallized intelligence within a worldview can be subsumed without knowing the facts. There is a way, I'm sure you've met people and you don't know the details of their life, but you're like, okay, I've met you. I have a general idea of like your way or your functioning, and so that there isn't really anything for me to overcome in you. And that's not bad. I'm not saying like a view that you feel you've subsumed, you should belittle it, but you can use it to know and track your growth without being aware of yet some ultimate end. So that's part 2, subsuming. I hope some of that made sense. Sometimes these ideas, they're a lot in my head, so they can be tough to get out. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for watching. I'm going to try to add some more detail in the next video.